Hello, today on CenturionsMoney.com we have a new lesson for you. Guide for beginners in real estate 1 of 2. What should you know before investing in real estate? Do you know the advantages of real estate over other investments? We'll summarize them for you. Population: it is estimated that, from the current 7.8 billion humans, we will reach 9.8 billion by 2050 and 11.2 billion by 2100. And all these people will need a place to live. Rent: while with stocks or bonds, the earnings are low compared to the price, the rent is usually 7 to 10% of the home's value. Inflation is the process in which you can buy fewer and fewer things with the same cash, making mutual funds not a good idea in the long run. Volatility refers to how quickly the price of something can change. The thing about real estate is that it allows a certain amount of calmness because it does not change its value as often as the stock market does. So you don't have to worry about whether you'll be a millionaire the next day. Self-sufficiency: real estate pays for itself because the rent pays for the credit. Adding value: a certificate of a certain action can't be worth more if you change the wallet where you have it, but a house can if you paint or Real estate owner's mentality. It has 8 commandments. 1. It challenges itself 1,000 times over. Believe it to see reality, don't look to see before you believe. Do it now. Motivation plus knowledge equals success. 2. He acts accordingly and elevates his daily habits. No one will treat you according to what you think, they will treat you according to what you do, and it is not enough to say I want to be a millionaire, we must also act like one. Start investing, prepare for the future, be on time and form a good mentality. He who dreams without acting misses the opportunity to live his dreams. 3. Eliminate unnecessary expenses by planning your time. We are not only referring to wasted money, but also to time, as we talked about in the previous point. Wishes are useless if we do not make them come true, and for this, we need constancy and strength, not once a month, but every day, every minute. He who uses every second as if he were a millionaire will be a millionaire every second in a few years, but he who acts like this only once a month will be a millionaire only once a month. He doesn't look for excuses not to do it. Remove the I can't and change it to how can I do it? Erase from your mind, someday, if only I had, if only I were, and focus on doing it right now. 5. Learn constantly from what you do. Every day things change, and if you don't believe it, look at the COVID-19. However, the problem is not in the crises, it is in how you solve them. How to take advantage of the crises is the difference between the millionaire and the poor. When things get tough, some people cry, others sell tissues. Which one are you? 6. Form a team. Think about it, how long it would take you to fully study web design, law, accounting, marketing, macroeconomics, and microeconomics. Possibly at least 10 years. However, we are different and better, because we use leverage, so we will study a little of everything, and hire people for it, generating employment and saving energy and time. I didn't go to Harvard, but the people who worked for me did. 7. It offers solutions, not deals. Remember, the one who solves a problem will be needed as long as the problem is present, while the one who offers a deal will have a job until the contract is over. Google does not offer information, it offers ease. Otherwise, the dictionaries would be just as successful. 8. Make good decisions. The difference between a good decision and a bad one lies in the process taken to make it, so it is more important the process you make to decide, than the decision, because a bad plan leads to several bad decisions. Sort priorities and possibilities, get real data, have a checklist for dummies, avoid emotions, ask for expert advice and organize your ideas. Finding the right place. Now let's move from mentality to facts, and focus on what is important when choosing the property. Location. Choosing the location is like choosing the company to invest in, and doing it well is very important because you can't change the location once you've bought it. We clarify that when referring to the location we do not only talk about the city or neighborhood, we also refer to the interior aspects such as natural light received, number of bathrooms, etc. However, although choosing the right place can mean a 10 to 20% increase in the price of the property within a few years, also going further is of paramount importance. This is to generate value. In other words, transforming the house so that it not only increases its value but also so that the tenant sees it as his home, not as the place where he sleeps. In this way it is possible for us: A. Keep the tenant longer. He likes to be there. B. Raise the prices of rent and sale. Good things sell for more. C. Ensure that the property is maintained in good condition, and possibly build good relationships with neighbors. A person who loves the place where it is will not destroy it or make an enemy of the neighbors. For this, having an open mind is essential. For example, you have $150,000. Would you buy a property for $150,000, which in 3 years will be worth the same if you sell it? Yes? Not? Well, the financial agents will tell you that it is a very bad investment, and this is because they see the generalities, not the details. That is to say, a normal property receives about 8% of its value in rent annually. Clearly, there are cases that these can reach more than 15%, but these are in excess rare. Let's agree on a realistic percentage of 8%, and look at the numbers. 150,000 by 8% equals $12,000 a year, or $1,000 a month. This amount multiplied by the 3 years you have the property is $36,000 in rent alone. It means you already earned 24% of your initial investment in 3 years, better than an 8% mutual fund, right? Although the $36,000 does not hurt anyone, we, Centurions, go further than that, and not only will we receive the $36,000, we will also increase the value of the house by remodeling it, raising its rent to $1,400 a month, earning $50,400 in the first 3 years, $14,000 more than the previous time, plus we will be able to sell the property for $30,000 more, up to $180,000 in the sale. That is to say, with the added value and the rent, we could earn $80,400, rent an increase in value, to a property that most will overlook, more than half of the initial investment. Would you be willing to invest that $150,000 now, knowing that you will have a total of $230,400 in just about 3 years? It is important to emphasize that real estate, as any business, also needs a thorough study. And in real estate you have many possibilities, but also a responsibility, and this is to open your mind, and thus you will see what our financial agent of the example above will overlook. For this we recommend you, first, look for as much information as you can. That is, ask the FedEx man, local business owners, security guards, tenants and landlords, and anyone who knows the area. Secondly, compare these data and make some small comparative tables about all the data you have, where you will include common characteristics, both positive and negative opinions. Thirdly, you have found the common thoughts the community feels about their location. Now it is time to highlight each of these points and look for a solution to the problems. At the same time, you have found your strengths and will know what to say to your potential tenants when they ask about the advantages or uniqueness of the location. Fourthly, visit the area in person, and as you walk around, imagine what details make certain strategies more feasible. Fifthly, make it real, and look for buildings that make it easier than the adaptation you propose. Sixth, pay attention, look at the signs, and take your time. Seventh, arrange a meeting with the landlord and find out if the property is the right one for you and the type of tenant you are looking for. Eighth, don't leave money on the table, negotiate and sign the contract. Ninth, adapt your home to what you wanted. And finally, find the tenant who has the problems you wanted to solve. If you found him, you won't have to worry about a long time about whether he pays the rent, or takes care of the house or not. Because it has already become the home he loves, as you solved the problems he had in his previous home. What to look for? Don't look for idealistic things, look for what you love, condos, apartments, houses, etc. Because this way you will save yourself the big problem of going everywhere without getting anywhere. To do this, expand your possibilities, and don't settle for one or two options. Look for all the fields and go to them. If you still don't know what type of property you like best, maybe you've never been to the field, but you find it a perfect option, explore. However, if you are going to go to a certain place you must look for the data, but it is not enough to see a figure. Ask yourself where that figure comes from. For example, it's a good investment, the demand for properties has increased by 10%. Let's suppose that the data is true, but what if this information studies a community dedicated to ski tourism and the data was collected in February? Well, most likely you'll have that building empty until the next winter season. So did demand increase by 10%? But to avoid this you must have some sort of unbreakable commandments, such as looking for the information yourself and not trusting the agent 100%. For example, what would happen if the agent, like any human being, makes a mistake and confuses the local data? Another trick is to negotiate small properties by square meters and big ones by unit prices. But the most important rule is not to leave the important decisions to your advisors, because as in the example of our agent's little confusion or the one in the winter properties, many times the facts are not as real as they seem. There are several problems with these real estate counselors that do not teach you how to identify success, and you must settle for total confidence that is often infused. A. They say it to approve what you already think. Will they contradict you? B. Do they know what they're doing or seem to know? Is it a good idea to ask your accountant father for help with finances, knowing that it's been 40 years since he graduated? C. Is this the best for you or them? If you pay your agent according to the percentage of the sale, is it not possible for him to take you to expensive places, instead of good offers? D. They don't usually ask about the tenant. Does your agent know if there are schools, hospitals, or universities nearby and if the apartment fits this profile? E. Conflict of interest. Would your parents prefer you to live closer, or would your friends like a good place to plan parties? F. Real experience. Can someone who studied economics in a small classroom in most cases use GPS to locate themselves, really know the market, or only know about theories in school texts? G. They are not usually prepared. Think about how many of these experts read the changes in legislation daily. Clearly some will, but will they all be as attentive? Also, don't forget to write down what you understood and show it to your agent to avoid any interpretation problems. You will also show him respect for his work. Once you've tried, experienced, and questioned it enough to be so sure it's right, you can include it in your decision making. Finally, if you want to be sure that this is a good investment, explain each point from scratch to another, or even to yourself, and if you can do it easily, it means that your reasoning was a process of your own, not someone else's, and therefore it fits your.
Please visit zenturiansmoney.com courses to watch all the chapters from this course.